This video is for one purpose only. Well, two actually. The first is to make sure you're super clear about what's due for the final project, and if your final project is really in the box of U.S. healthcare. Okay, and then two, the second thing is I'm going to show you the deadlines and what's coming up with your final exam and your final project. So this video will probably take about 6 minutes, but it's critical that you watch it. Okay, so if you're watching it, kudos. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start off with the international healthcare profiles. Every single country has a different system for how it delivers healthcare. This class is on the U.S. healthcare system. Now, I do teach an introduction to public health class that is everything that talks about the school districts, the environment, I mean, everything. It's just like everything under the moon. This class only focuses on the U.S. healthcare system. So when I ask you to do your topic, it needs to fit within the U.S. healthcare system. When you're looking at this graphic here, this is how our U.S. healthcare system does it. You could go to international healthcare system profiles. Actually, I'm going to put this in the final, and I'm going to make you look at the other healthcare systems. We are set up with both public financing and private financing. Okay, we've been talking about that. Public and private. And when people don't fit into one of those, they fall between the gaps. Right now, the U.S. is going through a healthcare reform. We're trying to expand the public financing. How we do that is up to, that's something that you could propose to expand. Who knows? But that's our two funding models. It's about money, and it's about giving their money to the providers. We're on a three-party system. The first part's us. The second parts are the doctors and the providers. And the third part is the insurance, either the government or whatever, paying us back. Three-party system. Other countries don't have three-party systems. Some of them are completely publicly funded. But know that we actually have a lot of people who are involved in our system. When you do your project is either focusing in on a policy. And when you look at policies influence three areas. And I know some quiz 3, a lot of people, it's not a lot, but I'd say it's substantial, so much that I gave extra credit for this if you watched the video where I explain what a health policy is. Health policy influences funding. It either influences a regulation or it influences allocation of something. So like there are different ways of doing it, and it might even do a regulation or rule, but it actually restructures things. And it can impact how much money goes into certain places. So when I say propose a new policy, you could be coming in and saying, you know what, I think we need a new policy that regulates the administrative cost for private and public fundings. And it can't be more than 5% like Switzerland. Or if you want to expand and you want to mandate that nutrition education now be included in the Affordable Care Act, and now that health providers have to do nutrition education. See, the providers, see right here, providers. Or maybe you want to do something around mental health. You might say, you know what, ACA really expanded mental health. I think it needs to expand it more. What you do is you think about it within the system, the U.S. healthcare system. Then this system, maybe you want to change something about regulations and how people are regulated, how the providers, regulation or rules, think of regulation as rules, how people are influencing the providers. So look at this and figure out where you want to make a change within the system, an idea. Now, what's going to help you is your book. And what I do right now is that I searched into the book Mental Health. And if you want to reform how mental health care is, maybe you want to look at how other countries are doing it. And I know one person in this class is looking at it from that perspective, from mental health care, how other countries are providing mental health care. So look through your book. Your book is the source. And if you look at it, the table of contents, these are the topics that we've covered in this. in the US healthcare system. Okay. Now, Julia, do you have any questions about like the topic, and does this make it a little bit more clear for, I was saying that 25% of the class, kind of like 1 out of every 4 I was noticing was kind of going a little bit out of US healthcare. I want to make sure I get people back in. Do you think, are there any questions I can do to kind of clarify it better that I could answer?
No, I think this clarifies it really well. Just explaining that while it does need to be related to the healthcare idea in general, it needs to be more specifically related to the things that we've gone over in class so that we're not going off into those rabbit holes.
Yeah, because you will go down a rabbit hole. And you'll know that if you're going down a rabbit hole, if you're like, wow, we never really covered this in class, that's a rabbit hole, you know. But if you're like, oh yeah, we talked about this in class, about like how, you know, people get reimbursed, or, you know, how healthcare, the system provides the services, then you know you're in the box. And this is, it is a box because we're talking about the US healthcare system. And then I want to talk about deadlines. I extended a lot of things. And I did this because I wanted to make sure that we were good to go. So what I did was over here, there it's in weekly, right? But where you can kind of get everything in one place is this right here, final project info and more. I'm hoping people are going to that. Have you been going to that, Julia?
Yes, I have. It's been very helpful.
Good, because I'm putting it all in here. So step 1, due December 1st, but I extended it. So let's see, what did I extend it to? I extended it, oh, I didn't. I thought I did. Let me make sure. I want these outlines ASAP. So, but I'm going to extend it to, I know what it is. It's living somewhere else. This is the beauty of Blackboard, and trust me, I'm not going to do this forever. But Blackboard has this thing where if you step 1, okay, I'm extending it right now. I want to extend it to the 4th. That's the drop dead deadline. I really want it in. You could still submit it. I think it lets you submit even though it's past due. I think it just says late. But I'm going to go ahead and take this all the way out to the 4th so that people, if they need more time, they can do that. So here, go back to here, and I'm going to take it all the way out to December 4th. I would really hope that people do their outlines ASAP so that you can make sure that you're good to go. So let's see here. What happened? Oh, it went to the bottom. This is typical too. Here we go. I'm putting this back up here. So once you should get your outline approved. And I give you feedback. The other thing I've noticed that people are doing citations, but just listing huge URLs. Don't do that. Do APA format or something like that, where you just put author, comma, year in parentheses behind each fact, and then list your references at the end. Does that make sense, Julia?
Yes, it does.
And one of my favorite websites that I've been going to is this one right here, APA intext citations. I've been emailing people this one, and it just gives you this is what a reference looks like here. That's what an APA reference looks like. Do you see how it puts authors, then year, then it puts down the title, and then for in-text you just like for web you just put retrieve from. See, it shows you. And then here's what the reference looks like. So this is what it looks like in text if you got it from a web page. Do you see that? So as long as people are just getting me some citations that are not listed as URLs, like long URLs. Now let's see if Let's see if they do have a, this is how you cite web pages. So you see how it says American Cancer Society 2015, genetics and cancer retrieved from, and then the URL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what an intext, that's what a reference looks like. At
And
the
you
end.
just want a page of references. You don't need in-text citations, right?
No, I want in-text citations.
Oh,
So
okay.
at the
Okay.
very end, you put the references. And so if you decide to cite an American Cancer Society, you would simply put, let's see, I'm hoping they did it here. The in-text would simply be American Cancer Society, comma, 2015 in parentheses. So that, let's see if they have an in-text. Here's an in-text citation. It just simply looks like this. That's what in-text looks like. It's at the end, and you just put the author, comma, and then year. Okay? Whoever the author is. If it's American Cancer Society, it's American Cancer Society, comma, 2011. Does that make sense? As long as people do it to the point where that's not a list of URLs, and at the very end, because the reason being is that if you're citing facts, I'm going to want to know. It helps you to every time you put a bullet point to put down where you got that from, and if it's not APA, I'm fine with that. But at least try to do one of those MLA, APA. Just do some type of in-text citation so that I know where it came from. So that's the first one. That's due December the 4th. It had a due date for December the 1st, but I've extended it. Then once your outline is approved, I've extended this to December the 8th. And December the 8th is a Sunday. So that gives you the rest of this week to record and post and whatever you decide to do. Okay. And as far as recording, you can use Jing. You could do a PowerPoint and then move it to with recorded audio, and then you push it to MP4 and put a YouTube. You could do Prezi and record. Okay. But if you get stuck on anything, I can actually help with that. I'm willing to help with the technology to help you guys. So if you get stuck, but the reality is, once you post September the 2nd, right here, what I'd like you to post here is whatever you got done. So like if you did a PowerPoint with audio and you struggled getting it to an MP4, fine, just post your PowerPoint with the audio in it, or post your note, whatever you got done. So I don't want the technology to get in your way with the video. So whatever you got done, you would post here. You'd browse your computer and post it, or you'd write a submission and post your link. Does that seem clear, Julia?
Yes, it does. I think what confused me on there is the step 3 that's underneath that. I thought that's where we were supposed to post our video.
Oh, no. So the reason why, and I'd still want you to post here, the reason why I did that is because it's just a discussion post.
Oh, okay.
Do you see the difference? And I've extended to December the 8th. So now I need to go back in here and change it to December the 8th in the text here. But when you look at the final project, this is the discussion post. So this is a discussion post. This is a discussion. This is so that you could just see each other's. And it's only worth, if I remember correctly, only if I'm going to tap it right here. Oh, so we got people doing it. I think I have to go to discussion. This is something I have to tell you. I'll go on record saying this, but Blackboard is kind of harder than than anything I've ever experienced. I'm used to Canvas. Canvas is like, you don't have to go to get to something. Here you have to go to get to it. So if you click,
Yeah, CSDC is kind of in the process of changing to that, but it's a bumpy process.
oh, it takes a while. Um,
Yeah.
so if you clicked on this, unfortunately, I can't seem to get into it the way I want to. If you click on this, let's see if I can click on it. I can. It shows how many points. Where is it at? It's supposed to be graded. It's great. It's supposed to be 10 points.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Oh, there it is right there, 10 points. So when you look at this and we go over to final project, step 1 is your outline. It's worth like, I think 10 points. Step 2 is worth 100 points. So, and this is where I take anything that you got done. Because sometimes people struggle with the technology to do the video. So I purposely didn't make step 2 dependent on your ability to do a video. And then step 3 is a discussion post where you look at someone else's link and you respond to it. And then you post yours too. And if you have a hard time, you just tell me that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So this is like the big one, step 2. And then you see how step 3, it doesn't close till December the 12th?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that way you guys can talk to each other. And let's say someone finally got their PowerPoint to move to a video, and they're like, yay! Then they post it in step 3. I hope people watch this video and get this. So I'm gonna explain that step 1 is your outline. Step 2 is your entire project. Whether it's a PowerPoint, whatever, you could do multiple uploads. I've set it up so you could just give me everything, okay? So it's like, here you go, grade it. And then step 3 is a discussion post. Okay, so if you are, you've got time to fix things now. If you want to change things around or move things, you've got time. The December 4th, give me your outlines so I can give you feedback. December 8th, record and get your PowerPoint or whatever you're done before December 8th. And then by step 3, hopefully you've got something to a nice little link where someone can actually watch it, and you post it in that discussion post. And if you can't get something to a link, then please at least respond to other people so that you can get partial credit and you can see what they've done. So you can see right now when we do this that Sadie actually did a Prezi. See?
Mm-hmm.
Link to
Yeah,
her
it was really good.
Yeah, she nailed it. I'm pleased. That's a good one. That's a good. Yay, Sadie! Kudos. Hand clap to Sadie. Virtual hand clap. So she nailed it in a sense that, and I love it because I can use her as an example, and she's probably like going, I'm so embarrassed, but that's okay because it's a good thing, Sadie. You landed with in the U.S. healthcare system, and it's there, and she got her references in, so it's good. It's a good one to model afterwards. So and Prezi works great. So enough of that. So we've been recording for a while. I said it wouldn't take that long. Have we cleared up everything and made it super clear with the project now?
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And then finally, I wanted to tell you guys that you'll see that quiz 4 is open. And quiz 4 is, you can take it up to 3 times, no time limit. And it will close on December the 9th. So and then with quiz 4, it's a really good way to practice for your final exam, which will be a lot of quiz 4 with a couple of essay questions thrown in. So in other words, quiz 4 is your practice for the final exam. You got it, Julia? Julia? Yep. That was a big hint.
Yep, got it.
Yeah.
So for our final exam, is that online or is it in a proctored space
Oh, no,
at
it's not
COCC?
proctored. It's going to be online.
Okay, cool. I thought
And
so.
I'm
I
gonna
just
make
wanted to
it-
double check.
I decided to make the final exam very low stress for you, for me, for everybody, for this whole class. So if you do quiz 4, you multiple times, you will find the final exam very low stress. Hint, 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 hint. Right? So
All
put
right.
your energy into this, because this gives me an idea if people understood the class, into the video and,
Yeah.
and doing 1, 2, and 3, because I think that really helps me understand if you could take what you've learned and apply it. That's extremely more powerful than the final exam. The final exam, I'm going to make it basically, you're going to see a lot of quiz 4 again. And it's going to be really low hanging fruit in the sense that no time limit and, you'll be fine. But I really want people to get this because it gives me an idea if they understand the US healthcare system, at least the concept of it. Now, a lot of people in US healthcare system will tell you that they don't understand it because it's complicated, but because there's sometimes we just go, that doesn't make sense. But you'll see that there is a system to our US health. We do have a system. We do have one. It might not work for us all the time, but we do have a system. And sometimes it can work really, really well. And when you're in the system and it's working for you, it's great. But do you see, and then you see marketplaces. Remember when we talked about that for ACA? So I'm deciding I'm going to put in our final exam, I'm going to put this table in there and ask people I'm going to ask a couple of questions around this table. So definitely read through this link. I'm going to put this in as our study. I'm going to ask people to read this because this is going to be this. There's going to be a question on the final exam about this right here. I think that'll be maybe one of the essay questions, and it'll be a big hint. And here I am telling people that this will be on the final exam. It's not a big hint. I just told people. So, all right. Any other questions, Julia? And I'm gonna get this out to people. I'm gonna put recording.
Oh, I think that about covers it.